Okay, this is your homework. I don't expect you to do it like this, but I want you to get used to doing this. And the layout is the most important thing. Is your composition. Leave a center focus. This one's a little more towards center than most, but it's okay. Well, you'll see. You get your background down first, wet, soft edges everywhere. And you load up some more paint, and that's how you do it. It looks pretty good this way also, amazingly enough. The busyness here doesn't bother me as much as it did in the vertical position, because this is now taking over. It's right here. This looks all three-dimensional. This was my first attempt at working out the issues with this particular design. And it was a massive failure, but I like a lot of the work in here. What I don't like is that there are no real soft edges. I was able to come back in and do these toward the end. But I'm missing way too many just hard. This is my soft edge here. I soften this edge and soften that, but there's just too much in the way of hard edges all around, and I'm going to try and change that whole thing at this point. Part of the problem with working with trying to develop soft edges and hard edges is on the 200-pound paper, the moisture is held a lot longer, which is really good in many ways, but you have to wait a while before you go in for harder edges. But I'm just going to work on the softer edges first. So in this first stab at this, I'm going to make this my center of focus in the painting itself. I've got a number of angles going here. Some of them overlap. This one overlaps this. This one overlaps this. We'll see how it goes. First thing I'm going to do is wet the paper down. I've got a 1.5 inch wide brush here. The paper is very thirsty. Like I said, originally it's 200 pound, so it's going to soak up a lot of water, and that's fine. Make sure you get your edges. The edges go dry first, and I'm going to let this just sit for a moment. So I mixed up a blue of phthalo blue, yellow ochre, and Payne's gray. And that's going to be my first shot over the bow here. So you notice the blending, the spreading here of paint. I'm going to mix up, I'm going to try going to add some burnt umber to this. So I want to get rid of some water out of the brush. The water out of the brush. I think I want to add some red to this blue. I think I need a little more dark in here. I go back to my phthalo blue, thicker, and burnt umber. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Phthalo blue and burnt umber. Okay. This corner here has got to have a lot more activity. Gotta get some more blue down there. Burnt umber. Now the sgraffito has got to be done when the sheen is gone, when just barely gone off of your paper. I'm trying to make a smaller sgraffito. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Looks like it's gone. Well, I'm going to try splattering. Okay. That's good. It's too wet. Can you see that? That's too too much water. Let's see about this. Oh, that worked pretty good. Alright, I scraped here and it wouldn't budge. It's dry as a bone. I scraped here and it moved. This is one of the problems with uneven drying. I'm still pretty wet here. So I'm going to do something radical here. See that dry brush? That's not what I want. Got to be careful. If you got too much water in your brush, okay, so we got a little bit of an issue here. If I dry this out completely, I run the risk of taking paint up, and I just want to soften this, what I want to do. Maybe the thing to do is to just use tissue. Use the tissue. So before I dry the paper and start doing the finished work, I want to put in some relatively dark edges. And I have to look at this and go, where do I need these edges? Okay, so I'm going to do this one right here. And probably one right here. And probably one. So there's kind of a decision time right now. It's dried very well. However, there are some other ways of looking at this thing. And this is not bad either. This is even better, I think. Maybe. This is a little strong right in here for this particular position. This is not bad. But this is the way I painted it. I'm going to continue. I laid down the background, my basic background with the pinks and the blues and the greens and all that, soft edges everywhere. Then I came in, after the sheen was gone, hopefully. Actually, I threw in some pretty heavy stuff up here, and I had to go back and repair some of that. Heavy stuff, heavy stuff, heavy stuff. But once the sheen was off of it, I was able to bring in this green color. This here, you see the hard edge. That means it was not on wet paper. Or it was on sort of damp, but the brush had very little water in it. Then I did some sgraffito with the credit card. I did one here, and dragged that, dragged this around, did this, and then I started scraping some directional lines in here. I have a tendency to overdo it, and I may have done that. And I kept working, and I kept putting in things, and I was just pretty much dry brushing. I want to stop dry brushing. I love this area right in here, this blue, and this here. Those are dry brush. Well, one was Sgraffito. They're both Sgraffito, but I'm happy with them. So now I can fine tune. Put in some black lines, dark lines, calligraphic lines, and some details, and some more heavy splattering. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with this yet. We'll figure it out. I do know that I need to come in and enhance some of these areas with more pigment. All right, so it's time to tune it up, fine tuning. I'm going to take my 1/2 inch flat and my half number 14 was about a 1/2 inch, I believe. Yeah, about a 1/2 inch oil painting bristle brush for blending. So I want to create some detail. And this is where I have to be very careful, because I have a tendency to overdo everything. So, well, I want to do a lot of things, but I'm not going to. Let's just say I'm going to do this here. Okay? Now, the way to deal with that is you take your brush and you wet it, and you wring it out, and then you just blend it out. Now, the paper is dry, so you're going to get a hard edge if you're not careful, which you can see me doing right here. Trying to get rid of that hard edge. Okay. Now, I also want to do this right here. And here again, I'm going to blend. You got to wring that brush out. Dry paper sucks it up and creates a hard edge right away. Trying to connect these two here. Okay. Do that. Now this is there's a lot more I can't think while I'm talking. I want to create an edge here also. Yeah, it's out of control, but amazing how out of control it is this late in the game. Okay, so now I'm going to load up my rigger. Now, you want to think while you're doing it. Actually, I don't have it. Not quite dark enough. There we go. Boy, that green is so rich. It looks pretty good this way also, amazingly enough. Um, the busyness here doesn't bother me as much as it did in the vertical position because this is now taking over. It's right here. This looks all three-dimensional. The most important thing is your composition. Leave a center focus. This one's a little more towards center than most, but it's okay. Get your, well, you'll see. You get your background down first, wet, soft edges everywhere. And you load up some more paint. And maybe this is the way I'll frame it. Don't know. So this mat here is a cheap $5 mat at Home Depot. They have them pre-cut, sitting in the aisle, already packaged for you. They're cheap. I just think it works better in a horizontal position, actually. So, yeah, just lay down your background loosely and soft edges, then start charging it a bit with some extra color as the sheen wears off and starts to dry out. You can see a sharp edge here. Be careful of doing, well, you're going to have trouble with this because I have trouble too. The problem is that you don't know where you're going, and the problem is that you tend to go a little too far, which I think I did. And be careful of trying to make it look like something. The idea is to make it be non-objective, non-figurative, non-representational. Those are all three the same term. Non-objective, non-figurative, non-representational. Let the viewer decide what they see in it. They'll try to figure out what you're trying to do, and hopefully you're not trying to do anything but build a fantastic composition with lots of energy in it, and a center of focus, and some good use of color and texture. You're here, okay? You've been through 2 semesters of watercolor, 2 semesters of drawing, and you wanted more, well, this is what's next. This is where it goes. And this will transfer over into your realistic, representational, figurative, objective paintings. Just learning to think this way. Look for design, composition, and values. Okay, have fun.